Hello and a very good afternoon. Welcome to Crafters TV and welcome along to the Crafthouse. My name's Ben Mosby. Thank you for joining us this Saturday afternoon or indeed Saturday morning, depending on where you are watching us. Oh, well, we're having a brilliant day today. We're having a lot of fun and kind of quite giddy in the Crafthouse today because it's birthday eve, of course, and also in the Crafthouse today we've got something brand new to bring to you as well, which we are hugely excited about. As always, we have got an extra guest to bring to you, who we will be introducing you to in just a few moments' time. But over the other side of the studio, one of my absolute faves, it's the one and only Craig. How are you?
Hey Ben, I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. A bit giddy is just an understatement. We've got a cracking couple of hours lined up. We've got something that's brand new, certainly brand new here in the UK. You guys stateside, you've seen some of it. Couple of the things you've not seen, it's of course brand new collection from Sharon Callis, an incredible designer, credible crafter. She knows what you want at home, and I know sometimes people say that in the industry, don't they? Crafter designing for crafter. Absolutely, Sharon is spot on when it comes to the different things that she wants to design for herself, but then for you. We're also going to show you something that she's come up with, quilling flowers. If you like your quilling flowers, but sometimes you just think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do die cutting and rolling and rolling. If you've never seen what Sharon's come up with, these are absolutely incredible. One pass through, you can create flowers, but we're going to be showing you that, so much more over the next 2 hours.
Yeah, very lucky for the fact that we have got Craig here with us, and I'll introduce you to Sharon in just a few moments' time as well. But as always, we are live and interactive this Saturday. So if there's anything that you want to ask us, get those questions in. Anything you want to know, get those questions in. If you just want to comment on this new range, or indeed if you want to share your latest projects with us as well, you can do. Get social with us here. There you go, on Facebook and on the Instagram, down the grams, on YouTube, of course, as well. And you can get in touch with us via the studio email should you wish to. The one thing I must just tell you, which we're very excited about, again, credit where credit's due, producer Johnny, hats off to him, he's been pulling a few strings. If you comment during the show, if you send us a question, if you let us know what you're thinking, all those comments will be put into a hat, and then with around about 10 minutes to go, we will draw out 2 names who will win either a £20 voucher to spend with us here at Crafters TV or a $20 voucher. So get your comments coming in. Say hello to us already. Must say hello to Alison, who's watching in Brooklyn. Sam, who says good afternoon from a dull Darlington. Anne in sunny Connecticut. Shannon from Columbia. Chrissy in Michigan. Dawn in Michigan. And Ro in Delaware. Hello to all of you guys. Lovely to have you all with us. And I'm sure it is going to be an absolutely brilliant show. Get those comments in, get those questions in, and you could be winning yourself a voucher. But as Craig has alluded to, we have got a brand new range from such a super talented lady. A lady who I'm pleased to say that I've known, I want to say maybe for 2-3 years, something like that. And she's an absolute delight, and you're going to love her, and you're going to love the range that she brings to us today as well. Let's say hello and a very good afternoon to the lovely Sharon Callis. Hello!
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Really good, actually, and we're coming all the way over to speak to you in Ireland today. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm here hiding away in a small part of County Louth.
And it's so lovely to have you with us. And as I just said a few moments ago, I've known you for a couple of years or so. But for people who are kind of seeing you and meeting you for the first time, you've obviously been interested in and kind of doing crafts for quite a few years, haven't you?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, like everybody else, I think you find a love for it when you're young. And it develops over years into various aspects. But with paper crafting, it's, gosh, over 10 years now.
Don't say like that. and it's so great to have you now with us in the Crafters family. And we're going to have a look at this range in full in just a minute, because I know you've got some boards to show us. But just as a bit of an overview, I mean, it's called Butterflies and Blooms. Why particularly did you sort of go for this theme with this new collection?
Okay, well, the core of a lot of my collections and what people know me for are my flower dies. And I wanted to bring a new dimension to my flower dye ranges by bringing in other elements. So I love butterflies and nature and flora. So I started with the butterflies.
And it really is a super collection, isn't it? And like you say, if you love butterflies, it's one of the very first things I learned that butterflies are used quite a lot when it comes to craft. People love butterflies, and people like to use them in all sorts of different scenarios, don't they? In their card making.
I mean, it's amazing the variety. You think, oh, I have a butterfly and I'll use it, but no, there's sizes, there's shapes, there's things the butterflies can do, different layers. And the one thing about them, they're eternal. So you buy a butterfly die now and you have it in your collection, and that's it. You'll have it used for it forever.
Well, let's have a look at what this collection comprises of, because there is so much in it. And as Craig was alluding to earlier on, there's lots within it. And I love the fact as well that you've got the ability to make some beautiful flowers with some quilling tools which are in there. But let's give you the details of everything that you've got on the show, or in this bundle, I should say. This is the Butterflies and Blooms collection. 59 elements included in this collection. You know what I love about this as well? It's like Craig was saying, if you saw this on HSN, you'll have seen it obviously for the first time there. You're seeing it for the first time here on Crafters TV. Look at the price it should be, and we are already, with it brand new, taking some money off for you. So it should be £80.91 or £106.55. You get it today for £69 or $85. Don't forget, of course, as well, with your Platinum Club membership, should you be a Platinum member, you've got an extra 20% off that as well. But within this collection, we are going to be giving you your Butterfly and Blooms die, which is called Mariposa. You're also going to get the Vanessa die. You've then got two beautiful sentiment dies, Thinking of You and Sending Love. You've then got your Butterfly Love and Butterfly Friendship. And then the Peony and Climbing Rose dies as well, which allow you to make the most beautiful, beautiful flowers. We're also throwing into the mix some low-tack tape as well, which is always super handy. A 3-pack of the low-tack tape coming with that as well. That's the best value for money, okay? As far as getting, a super deal, you get the lot there for £69 or $85. However, if you would like to dip your toe in the water, we do have some individuals for you as well. Now, if you were watching on HSN, you won't have seen these 3 options that we're bringing to you now. So if you want to kind of, complete the set, I suppose, you can too, because we've got a spend £30 or $30 deal, and you'll save an extra 10%. So these are the 3 items that you won't have seen before. This is the beautiful Vanessa, $12.99 or $16.95. You've got 3 dies within that set. You've then got, again, you won't have seen this before, the Sending Love beautiful sentiment. Again, that's a 2-piece die, $3.99 or $5.95. And then finally, you have got the Butterfly Friendship, which is the 18-piece stamp and die set. And again, that brand new, you won't have seen that. So if you like the look of all of that, that goes towards your spend 30, save an extra 10%. But as I said, if you're watching for the first time, seeing this for the first time, the bundle is the way to go, because you will get so much joy out of using this collection for £69 or $85. I've got it really easy today, because I'm going to be reading out all of your comments. I'm going to be reading out all of your questions to Craig and also Sharon as well. But I don't even have to show you the boards today, because they're in Ireland. So we better cross back to Sharon so we can have a look through those boards and see what these beautiful collections look like. So yeah, Sharon, if you could take us through the boards and so we can see exactly what we're going to get in this amazing Butterflies and Blooms collection.
Sure. So first of all, this is a capsule collection. So in this collection, you will get everything you need to complete your project. You will get your florals, you will get your topper, and you will get stamps and outline dies. So first off, we'll go talk through the flowers.
Brilliant.
And I want to explain about the quilling die, because this is a new concept you mightn't have seen before. And if you're familiar with quilling dies, you're familiar with the single die. So when you cut with that single die, you'd regularly have to cut with 2. Mm-hmm. You have to layer one over the other and then glue it in place. Wait for it to dry, and then you have to quill it and assemble it.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the glue dries, it's too hard to quill. So your flower spacings and petals are all over the place. The quilling die eliminates this for you. When you cut this out, you're only cutting once. Along the line, you'll see a perforation, and that's your fold line. And when you fold that over, you're perfectly aligned, and you just have to quill it. So one cut, one fold, one roll. So here is the peony. And down here we have the rolls. But in each pack, you will get not only the flower, you will get the stamen, you will get the 3 petals as well.
Okay.
This here in the center are called calyxes, and they go on the base of the flowers to cover the quilling, just to neaten it up and tidy it. So I'll just show you an example of that here now.
Wow, they're brilliant.
And look how small they are. They're only like an inch in diameter. And then we have a closed one and an open one. So they're a great accent.
Absolutely.
So
and again,
like dice.
Really, really simple to get to grips with, aren't they? If you've never used this style before, it's a really simple process to get that result, isn't it?
It's, yeah. If you're not familiar with quilling and it's a bit daunting, this, I promise you, is the easiest quilling flower you've ever made.
Can I just actually say as well how true that is? Because I'd never used Sharon's way of quilling before until just the other week. Myself and Sharon, we done, well, it was going to be, what was it, Sharon, about 20-minute video call, and we were still chatting for about 2.5 hours. You know, we're going over everything.
He does go on, Sharon, doesn't he? He does go on.
And going over your collection and that as well. It's all these little things like I said earlier on, how, for instance, the calyxes, I'd never even thought of them, but these little things, these finishing detail that adds to the back of the flowers, although you can actually use them separate if you wanted. It's all these little things that you think of.
Yeah, it's the little details that make projects a lot faster and easier. Like with the Mariposa die. In the pack, you're going to get 3 dies. You're going to get an outline die, which is your base. And traditionally, you don't get that when you buy butterfly dies. Next, you have your delicate overlay. So this decorative frame here is where this butterfly will sit. But you don't have to. You can actually stamp on the inside or put a sentiment. So it gives a lot more use to the die as well.
Yeah.
This here is actually the waste from the center of the butterfly. But hold on to that. You can stamp on that. You can ink it. They make actually great butterfly wings on their own, or maybe wings on the back of a fairy, go freehand. But one detail about the butterfly die itself, there is embossed detail in this, so you will need to cut it, then pass it through the Gemini again to get your embossed detail. But the petals have, sorry, the wings have a cutout detail inside.
Yeah.
So it allows you to move them, add an extra detail.
Amazing.
When you're making it. And this is the Mariposa here. I'll just show you. And with the detail in here, you can see where it was inked while still in the die. And sure, Craig can show you how to do that later on, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, already you're seeing just how beautiful this collection is as we move on to the next one. Now, is this Vanessa?
This is Vanessa, yeah. I love this one because it's long. Traditionally with a butterfly die, it's round, it's square.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of long, so it's for your 10-fold cards. Again, you're going to get the 3 dies. So you have your base, you have your decorative outline, and on these you'll see embossed detail also. So this is where you can put your gems, or you can ink or your little flowers. And then you have your butterfly as well, and that also has the cutout detail.
Love it. Yeah, yeah.
So in here on this sample, you can see I've coloured it. And this here is one of the stamped and cut out stamps in the centre. I'll just raise that up a little bit so you can see it.
Absolutely.
Trying to hang in the camera.
There we go. Stop. There we go. Got it. Absolutely beautiful. Love that.
There. Detail.
Fantastic.
On that one. And the bit of gold behind it gives it a little lift.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the sentiments. Now there's 2 sentiments. So there's sending love and thinking of you.
Uh-huh.
And again, on these you're going to have your base, your overlay, and then you put them together, and it just makes a great topper. Foam pad on the rear, and then you're good to go.
Absolutely.
But I love the next part, and this is something new to my ranges. It's where we have stamps with the outline dies. So you'll see on these stamps the amount of detail that's in them. Fantastic for your tri-blends, your spectrum noirs, your mixed media. There's plenty of room to colour and shade in these. And with the two large ones, we've used the negative to make two smaller ones. So you can overlay one on top of the other in different colours, maybe use acetate for one and vellum for another. So you can have a lot of fun in mixed media, putting butterflies together on their own independently. And of course, they'll sit in the apertures of the Mariposa or the Vanessa dies. So you can crisscross them across each other. Some of the sentiments are, you make my heart flutter, spread your wings, butterflies remind us that it's never too late to transform ourselves.
Aww.
Float like a butterfly. A little dotty twirl there, just a decorative accent really. And you give me butterflies. So that was the Butterfly Love collection. And then we've got the Butterfly Friendship. So this one here is a little, how would you say, Nordic? Would that be the right word?
Yeah.
You know, so there's a bit of lattice in it. There's florals. There's little hidden details in that. This is a butterfly, but it's more like a moth as well. So if you're doing your steampunk and you don't want to put a butterfly into, you can put that in there. And again, we've got the two negatives there in different, you can put them, stamp them in different colors, use them on their own or overlay. And for the sentiments, we have butterfly kisses. Without change, there will be no butterflies. Aww. And be your own kind of wonderful. And there's little twirls and bubbles as well, just decorative accents for the samples.
Absolutely, it is amazing. I love the stamps and the dies there as well. Those little swirls as well, fantastic, and the detailing that you've got in those butterflies. There are so many lovely comments coming in already, which I want to read a few of in just a second. But I just want to again impress on you the value for money. If you're thinking for yourself, thinking, well, what do I get then for that? What part of that do I get? You get all of that for £69 or $85. This is the point. You get everything. And as Sharon was saying earlier on, you know, how many times during your crafting, during your card making, have you used butterflies? You'll come back to them time and time again. Let me just read out a few of these lovely comments already coming in. June saying, exciting to see these new products. Alison says, Ben, you just make my day brighter. I love watching you host. Well, thank you. That's very kind. I played with Sharon's dies last night and I am in love, says Patty. Beth say, you can never have too many butterflies. Hey, everyone, says Nicole. What a stunning collection. Kirsten, Sharon, your collection is amazing. Terry saying, can't wait to see all the demos and samples as I love butterflies. Karen saying, these sets are gorgeous. And actually, where's the message about the quilling? Oh, Catherine has messaged to say, I do traditional quilling, but these dies make it so much quicker and easier. Keep the lovely comments coming in. Remember, we will be giving two people a £20 or $20 voucher at the end of the show. And if you have got any of these already, maybe you've got them through HSM, then we would love to see what you have been making. Or if there's anything that you want to ask Sharon or anything you want to see Craig demonstrate during the show, here we go. You can email us at studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. That's for your pictures. And of course, you can get social with us as well on Facebook, down on the grams, and YouTube as well. Questions, comments, likes, whatever it might be. We would love to hear from you. And we will certainly be going back to Sharon in just a little while to pass on more comments and ask some more questions. But let's get going with this brand new Butterflies and Blooms collection. And Craig, I know already that you are a huge fan of this collection, aren't you?
Absolutely, I so am, and can I just say it as well, you know, even my heart's starting to go here, you know, I wait to demonstrate them with Sharon here, watching as well, so just a wee bit of nervousness. However, what I want to say is...
Apparently she's got some paddle boards in Ireland and she's going to mark you out of 10 after each demo.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that bit.
Okay, thanks for telling me that, Ben. Got a bit nervous already. But just to say as well, there's absolutely no way in this show we'll be able to show you everything and all the combinations. Go onto Facebook and go on to Sharon Callis Creative Cruise. Have a look on there. The design team there have been making incredible things, so you get lots of ideas and inspirations. I'll do my best to show you a few different ways at what you can create. So first things first, let's go on. We're going to use the Mariposa and different ways that you can make cards or projects. Use them for home decor as well. But what I'm going to do to start with is, if I then just take my scoreboard. Now I'm using some of our Shedless glitter card. All our card stock is on the show as well. It's 3 for 2.
Yeah, 3
Go
for
and
2.
check all that out while you are online. Now what I've just done with this one is this is the length of A4 here in the UK, and then for the width I've just cut that down to 5 3/4. 5 3/4 is just because it kind of evens itself out with the length. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to score it at 3 inches, and my actual score tool for this, it seems to disappear. That's why I'm using this one. But I do know Debbie was using this in the last show.
Debbie, definitely
with
Debbie.
That black mark.
Yeah,
I'm going to let her
definitely.
off with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not keen on the black marks.
No, it's
I don't
definitely
like that.
Debbie.
Anything that takes my eye away off a nice, crisp, clean board.
Yeah.
Not keen on.
Oh,
But do
dear.
you know what? Doesn't matter.
Debbie
So what
was
we're
blaming
going
you
to
for a
do...
lot earlier on as well, actually.
What was that?
Debbie was blaming you for a lot earlier on as well, actually.
Oh, was she? I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. She blames me and I blame her.
Yeah, you all
know,
blame
that's
each
the
other,
way
it's
that what we
brilliant.
do. We don't take any responsibility for ourselves. Now, all that I've just done there is using our Shedless glitter card, I've just created my easel card. Then what I'm also going to bring in is I'm bringing in some more cardstock. So I'm using some of our Centura Pearl. This is from the Trend collection, which is also on the website, and it's still part of an offer. And I'm taking Baby Pink, which is our glitter card. Now, as Sharon was showing you, this is the Mariposa. So this is where you've got the single butterfly. You can use it on its own. Bring in the stamp set, we'll show you. You can stamp in. You've got the outline die. Usually, once again, what Sharon was saying is if I just take that one away for a moment, if you were to find dies and outline dies, this is the sort of thing that you would get. The main detail that is the topper and the filigree detail.
Yeah.
However, what Sharon's done is also given you that full outside line. So use that on its own and that could become a full background. Or if you want to do fancy shaker cards, if you use them together, so if I take that one and that one, what that then does is that gives you a really fine border all the way round, because that is a full cutting edge and even this one is a full cutting edge. So that's how you're getting so many different options with this one. So what I'm just going to do is if I take these ones out the way, now my base layer for this one, I'm going to do with my Centura Pearl. And just like any of our wafer thin dies, I am just using the same combination, which is plastic shim, magnetic and top cut and plate.
Okey-doke.
So we're just going to be running this one through.
Just to say as well, whilst Craig's demoing, at the bottom of your screen there, you will see details just here of the card packs that we've got, because we've got lots of card stock on the show for you available on a 3 for 2. So just keep your eye on this, and if you shop the show as well, you'll be able to see all the details. But the card on 3 for 2, we've also got some tri-blends on the show as well for you on a 3 for 2 deal. So have a look out for those as well.
Absolutely, there is so much that you can check out while you're on the website as well. So that's our main layer, that's already die cut just there. So what I'm just going to do is if I take this one again, and I'm going to use our Shedless glitter card. Now it's just automatic that I always just use our metal shim for all of our glitter card. It's just something that I always do. So what I'm just going to do is pop that one through. Actually, I'm not, let's change that one. It wasn't that one I want, it's this one. This is the one that I want. So this has got the detail just here. Reason I was away to put that one on again is because I'm away to show you something in a second. So we're just going to tape that one down, and then we're just going to pull that one through as well. Now, within this collection, with some of the smaller dies, with some of the stamps, because you've got the outline die as well, they're going to go through your Mini, they're going to go through your Go as well. They all go through your Gemini Junior or your smaller die cutting machines.
Brilliant.
But of course, if you've got the large Gemini, then that's going to work as well. So if I take these ones away, so if I then just take my poke tool, and I'm just going to take these bits out. So straight away,
oh wow,
that gives us all of that
look at the
nice detail.
That's phenomenal, isn't it?
It's so detailed.
Yeah.
However, this is when, being a crafter, Sharon's just come in and just created the incredible detailed elegance to it, because I'm going to bring in a bit of cardstock.
That's amazing.
Now, I think actually what I will do is I'll come a bit close up, because what I want you to see as well is, if I move my plate out the way, you're going to be able to see, so if I'm going to stay still. So I'm going to stay still right there. And then what you're going to do in a moment, you're going to find and you're going to see all these little dots. So check out these little dots here.
Oh,
so, you know,
yes.
there's ones there, there's ones there, there's ones there. So obviously that's going to still give you, I know you can't quite see it with my fingers. Let's just bring that one in. That's then going to give you your tiny little dots that you can be using within your crafting. So if you're familiar with a range quite a while ago, Craftwork cards, where you got what was called card candy, you can make your own. However, this also enables you to pop your gems into place, your pearls into place, any of your pearl drops. So if you like to add that additional accent, but you're never sure quite where to pop them, then Sharon's put that detail in for you as well. Even in the center of the flowers as well, pop your gems, pop your pearls, any different accessories that you want to pop in, you can do. So that one then, these can layer up on top of each other. But what I want to do as well is, I'll actually even show you, so there is the butterfly. So that's what's then come out there.
Huh.
So if you were to use that or die cut that with your white smooth stamping card, this is when you can bring your butterflies in and stamp over the top of them. So the things that you can do is just absolutely extraordinary. But what I wanted to do is, if I move that one out the way, I'm just going to go off course just slightly, because what I want to do is I want to show you exactly what I was meaning by how you get a different look if you use the two dies together. So what I mean by that, let's just pop these bits out, and then I'm going to bring in both of these. Now, as I always say when it comes to die cutting, if you are a bit wary about die cutting with two dies at the same time,
yeah.
Do this bit separate, no problem at all. But I am more than confident with our low tack tape. Ben, you're getting 3 rolls of low tack tape in the collection as well.
Oh yeah, we think of everything.
Exactly, we absolutely do. And putting that cardstock on the show as well, where it's 3 for 2, it's glitter card, it's Centura pearl, there's stamping card. So all of that mixed and matched with Sharon's collection. You'll have seen some of the samples where she's used double-sided papers or just cardstock. This one is going to be a very, I don't want to say a monochromatic look, because yes, there's black. Wow,
that's a big word for a Saturday.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, big word for me. But there's going to be a real intense pop of colour with the glitter card that's baby pink, with the Centura pearl that's like your fuchsia. But then, if I then take these ones away, so again, there's your butterfly that you've got there, but then I could have even then added in this butterfly.
Yeah.
So then that would then cut out, but you could stamp onto it again, so many different ways. But then if I then remove this, now look at that. So not only have you got this part underneath here, so let's just pop these ones out. So like that pink glitter layer, so I'm just going to just pop these ones, because I really want to show you what it looks like. So you can see, I'm just get my poke tool in just there. So there we go, there's the release bit. So just like the glitter layer,
amazing,
we've got that detail.
Yeah.
But then using them both together, this is where you've got that real fine line. So you want to do your shaker cards, but imagine a shaker card with that detail all the way around, and then some of the pattern that's in the background, like that, with that layered over the top, or let's even say that one layered over the top, even just like that, straight away.
Yeah.
Then pop a butterfly that you've stamped or die cut. This is what I mean. This is just one die range. This is just one pack, and you can do all of that. So what we can then do is let's just start to layer all of these up. So I'm going to bring this back layer on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the glitter layer just there. And then what I am just going to do is I'm going to bring this butterfly, and I'm going to use that back piece that's already die cut out. Again, I could have done this at the start when I was die cutting all the rest, but let's just bring these ones in. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to tape these down. Now remember, as Sharon was saying earlier on, I do suggest, like she does as well, with many of the dies within this collection, run them through again with your embossing mat. I'm trying to, or want to get through as much as we can, and also speak to Sharon, because obviously she's designed this collection, so I'm kind of skipping out that embossing layer. But trust me, it's well worth actually just taking the time, just running it through again with your embossing mat. But now I've deliberately done this one in white. Now look at that one. So if I take that excess off, so you're even getting an outside layer of the butterfly.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
So much, isn't
Do
it?
your ink and background,
Yeah.
pop that over the top. Can you imagine the look of an outline butterfly that you're going to have? Just awesome. And then once again, let's just bring our pokey tool in, and I'm just going to take this bit out. And then you can see you've got all these little tiny dots. You've got all of that accent detail as well. But then what you've seen in the sample that Sharon showed you, not only have you got this butterfly just here, but then you've got the wings. And now that just stays in place, but they pop up. Look at that. Isn't that just awesome? And then what I'm also going to do close up as well is one of the things Sharon pointed out to me when I was speaking to her the other week. This one here, so look at the wings, how they pop up.
Yeah.
But look at the shape of the wings. Now, if you have got any fairies or anything, you know, magical or mystical, that could then be fairy wings.
Yeah.
Trim that body part away, then because of the shape, that could then work with your Sarah's signature, you know, your Enchanted Christmas, all these ranges as well. It really is one of those die sets where straight away, you've got the ability to make really, really stunning cards, simple cards if you want it to be, or incorporate it with your other layers.
Do you know what? Just quickly butting in here.
No, go for it.
I can tell how excited Craig is because he is just not stopped, has he, for like the last 10 minutes. I think he's probably one of the most passionate and enthusiastic crafters that we have here at Crafts TV. But even by his standards, he is loving this today. And just to quickly say, you're loving it too because 20% of that stock has already gone. And every single second I'm hearing producer Johnny say, another one gone, another one gone. £69 or $85 for this amazing collection. I'll read some of these comments out in just a second. But lots of people commenting, saying that they've got butterflies within their collections already, but not butterflies like this. That's what most people are saying, Craig, right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was one of the things, you know, Sharon wanted to get across is the fact that, yes, we've all got lots of butterflies within our collections. Many ranges have butterflies, but you will not have seen butterflies like this. She wanted to design ones that you could be using on any style of card. So whether you were wanting to use it on a wedding card or a birthday card, maybe a sympathy card. You know, we don't like making them, but we do have to sometimes. It's that sort of butterfly that it's very elegant, but there's not too much detail in it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's one that you're able to use with so many different occasions. And do you know something? I'm so glad that the passion's coming out because honestly, I
really
absolutely
is.
adore these. And even when I launched them, I had the absolute pleasure of launching them on HSN. You know, the some of the dies that are within this collection, some of them you didn't see, and I've still been using them. I've actually got a backlog of pictures on my phone that I need to get uploaded onto my Facebook and Instagram, as well as Sharon's Facebook group, just to show all the different things that you can do. But then let's just start to finish this one off. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to bring in a bit of pattern papers. Now again, we're going for that darker look with the card, the easel card, but then we're giving it a real hit of colour. So I've got my tape already on. So this background paper, this is just our 12 by 12 paper from our Peacock collection. And what I've already done beforehand is I've already gone round with some of the Plum Jam Water Reactive, just around the edges, just here. I know it's very, very faint, but it's just enough.
Yeah.
And even that one, Plum Jam, is also on the website and it's part of a 3-for-2. So I really wanted to try and use as many of the elements on the show as possible, just to show you how you can absolutely make cards, make projects, just using the products on the show. I know obviously this one isn't, but we do have Sarah's signature 12 by 12 paper pad, Garden of Love, that's on. And I have been using that in some of the other demos too,
Yeah, the
Ben.
cardstock's proving really, really popular. There's loads on that 3 for 2 deal, so do have a look at our website. And as we mentioned, we've got some of the tri-blend ranges as well, if you want to go for those on a 3 for 2. Lots of deals to be had on the run-up to our birthday event tomorrow. There's the details of the Garden of Love 12 by 12. So that 48 sheet pad, $12.99 or $19.99, and that is on the 3 for 2 as well. As I say, plenty of different cardstock and paper within that deal. So fill your boots, fill your baskets. Don't miss out on these deals because, again, when you've got a collection, particularly like this one, you're not going to be wanting to run out of your cardstock and your paper. You'll just be creating project after project, and not just cards as well with a collection like this. I mean, into home decor as well, I guess, Craig, with all these beautiful butterflies.
Absolutely. And if my memory serves me correctly, that's where Sharon's idea for the quilling flowers came in.
Yeah.
I'll see if Sharon will tell us that story shortly, no doubt. But yeah, you can use the actual die sets and that for doing home decor. And one of the things as well that Sharon had done or wanted to do is some of our flowers that she's done in the past are larger flowers, but she wanted to do some smaller versions so that you could use on your cards and that as well. And that's exactly what she's done. They just look phenomenal. And then all that I'm going to do is, I'm not making it a completely wow card because I just wanted to really get all the different ways that you could use, certainly the Mariposa. So all that I'm just going to do now is let's just take the Scent with Love die, and then let's also just use another bit of the fuchsia that comes in the Trends collection. So I'm just going to run this one through.
This looks like it's going to be a wow card to me.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Thank you.
All right. I think you do yourself a disservice there, sir. It looks great, doesn't it? It looks amazing. What are you on about?
Well, it was just because I was really keen to show you as well how you can get so many different ways, so many different looks from literally just a couple of cuts with your dies. So all that I'm just doing now is taking the Scent with Love, and I'm just doing this one in white now. And let's bring in the mini again. So as you can see, this one, as well as that butterfly, would go through your mini. And then I'm just going to pop this one out. So if we take that one out just here, and then I'm going to take all this. Now have a look, when I take this one out, look how fine all of that script is.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to say, and it might sound silly, but look how readable that is. Now, sometimes you get dies with something like Scent with Love, or Thinking of You, or Thank You, or Happy Birthday. It's too scripty.
Yeah,
in the fact, I know that's not a word, but
no,
you know what I mean? You can't quite understand it, but straight away you've got that elegance to the font, you've got that nice curvature to like the sending part, but it's readable. Snip away so you've just got love if you want to. So let's take that one, and then all that I'm just going to do, let's take our .8 tape runner. Use your sprays, or as I've been using as well, the tacky glue, which is also on the show as well. So we're just going to pop this one on. And then what I just done with this panel just here, Ben, I just lifted that up on foam pads, just so that it could be the stopper for my card. And then I'm just going to bring in just a couple of pads just here. So let's just trim that one down. I'm going to pop this one on there, and then just quickly, what I'm also just going to do, we've got Hunky Dory's Diamond Sparkle gems on the show.
Yeah, we do.
So there's gems, there's glitter gems, there is pearls, and there's also, there's a fourth one. There's 4 different kinds on the show. We've got pearl, we've got essential, that's what it was.
Yeah.
We've got glitter and sparkle, that's what that was. So all that I'm just doing is popping that, and then this is where if I take a couple of these lighter ones, and then what I can do here is pop them into place, so I straight away know where to put them. And then if I wanted to, because it's glitter card, I would still always recommend put a bit of wet glue just in the middle. Let's just do 3 and we'll leave it there. Let's put 1 in the body as well.
There's your bundle at the bottom of the screen now, by the way. 1,080 gems for $17.99. Bargain. Or $24.99. Yeah, can you imagine whose job that was to count all the gems in there? Oh dear.
And if there's ever a collection where gems,
Yes,
pearls
it's
are
this.
going to come in so handy, whether it is the little accents that Sharon's given you to put them into place, or you just want to go rogue and random and add them onto your cards or home decor yourself, you absolutely can. And let's just do one more just to finish off. We'll pop that into the center. That's all that I'm going to do with that one. And we've gone for a mix of the darker shade of the black into the background, but then we're pulling the card up. We've got the fuchsia layer, we've got the glitter card layer, we've got the butterfly where both parts of the wings, because I only added glue down the center, comes up. But we showed you how you can do your frames, you can do your mats if you want to. So you can die cut this one with the detail, use it as it is, stamp into it using the stamp sets. So much that you could do, and that's just one, plus obviously that stamp set.
Absolutely amazing, and I love that card right now. So let's go over to our judge, Sharon Callis. Marks out of 10 for Craig's first make. It's a 10. Woo! There we go. Oh dear. Listen, so many of you are commenting. I have never seen so many comments, and I know that there's obviously an incentive to comment today because there are the vouchers to be won, but I truly believe the comments are coming in because you love this set so much. I'll just read you a few of these because there's so many. Karen saying these sets are gorgeous. Lorna Jane Hunter on Facebook, aren't Sharon's makes just marvellous? Love the peony, says Jean. Oh wow, says Kay on Facebook. I haven't seen this collection and I love butterflies. Beth, Sharon's collection is beautiful. Diane on Facebook, just love Sharon's collection. Denise on Facebook, loving the demos. I love butterflies. Melanie saying, Sharon, your designs are beautiful. Patty says, I just purchased Vanessa Friendship and Sending Love. My set is now complete. Yes, more on that to come in just a little bit. Love this collection, says Terry. Crafty AJ says, butterflies are so versatile, they can be used practically everywhere. Christine on Facebook, I love this collection. Ro on Facebook, I love the sentiments in this collection. They can be used for so many different types of cards. Such delicate dies, says Carol. Such intricate dies, says Kathy. This is beautiful, says Alison. Goodness gracious, says Janet on Facebook. And I thought I had a collection of butterflies. Look at these butterflies and the details. How to resist. I have never seen so many admiring comments. I think we give Craig's card 10 out of 10. Sharon, if I had a bit of paper and penny, I'd give you a 10 out of 10 for this collection as well.
Absolutely.
It must be so lovely for you to hear all of these positive comments coming back from all of our viewers who are seeing this for the first time.
It's amazing, and I am just so grateful, and I'm thrilled that you love it and that you can't wait to see what you do with it. It's brilliant.
And it is amazing, isn't it? I know you were watching and listening just then, but so many people coming back and saying that even though that they have butterflies, you know, with other dies and stamps that they have in their collection as well, a lot of people haven't seen butterflies quite like this. And was that in your mind when you were designing this collection, to make it a little bit different?
I like value when I buy a product, and when I go out to buy a butterfly die or a stamp, I tend to gravitate towards something with that little bit extra more. And as a crafter, I like to think, well, what can I add to this that will make life a little bit easier? So I add the layers, I add the little Easter eggs, you know, to show where you put the gems or the buttons. And it might be a bit controlling, but it's just in my vision where I can see where the flowers would sit perfectly, things like that, you know. And I want to give fellow crafters that little bit extra.
And that's it, isn't it? And again, when you look at this collection as a whole, just talking about the butterflies and the beautiful flowers, so usable, isn't it? You talk about a collection that you can come back to time and time again. That's this, isn't it?
It is, because it's one of those ageless collections, and it's not limited to seasons either, or genders, our occasions. So you could have it for weddings. Yeah. Use your golds, use your linens, use your champagne colours, use your Midas inks, and you could have a whole different look to the collection. You could grunge it up, you could add your deeper tones, you could have it with your steampunk papers, etc. So that's another look as well.
I'm just really interested to know as well, you know, with you sort of designing and creating, I suppose, how do you come up with what you're going to put into a collection, and how long does it take you? You know, do you kind of wake up in the middle of the night with an idea, or are you always there sort of sketching and crafting away? How does the whole process work? I'm really interested to know.
Well, firstly, anyone who knows me knows that I don't sleep.
Oh, really?
So,
I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
I do. It's amazing where ideas come. If I'm out and about and if I see something in nature, I mean, something really weird happened. I was in like a home store where you get DIY equipment.
Yeah.
And I was looking at wallpaper and I said, that's nice. Oh, I'd love to buy that and use it in my crafting. But I went, no, I'll go home and design a paper pad. So it's amazing where the ideas come up.
And do you actually get a lot of time to craft for yourself, or are you always kind of designing and creating ideas for everybody else?
Well, before I came to Crafter's Companion, I had to do everything. I'd have to do all my own samples, etc. So to divide my time between designing and crafting, I had to be quite strict because I love crafting and I wanted to make sure that I stayed ahead of that. But there's a wonderful design team now at Crafter's Companion, so I can craft a bit more for leisure now, but design a lot more as well. And there's some amazing collections that are coming down the line. And this first one is a perfect start to all that.
We absolutely love it, and I think Craig's going to have a look at the quilling in just a few moments' time. And interestingly, just to chat to you about that, a lot of comments as well of people who are sort of traditional quillers who say how easy it is to use dyes like this to make it such an easier process. So again, if people are nervous and thinking, oh, well, I've tried that before and you know it's been quite difficult. You were saying at the start of the show that having the peony and the rose, I think, isn't it, in this collection, the dye makes it really simple to do, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I was a traditional quiller. I had a drawers full of quilling dyes, but the one thing that got to me was time. I was asked to do a friend's wedding table centerpieces, and I said, "Yep, no problem." But after the fourth one out of 20, I was losing the will to live. So the process itself, where you'd have to cut out 2 layers and then carefully align one over the other. Do you use glue? Do you use red liner tape? It depends what you're more comfortable with. If it's wet glue, you have to wait for them to dry. But what always happened was when you went to quill it, the layers would separate, buckle, or the petal alignment would be off. So you didn't get a uniform look to your flowers. So with this method, all that's taken out for you. So just cut it, fold it. It's all ready joined together. Just quill it up and all your flowers will look uniform.
Sharon,
so it's a lazy way of doing things.
Well, she makes it sound very easy, and you'll see just how easy it is in just a few moments' time. Sharon, thank you so much. We'll chat with you more in just a few moments' time. But I just want to remind everybody about this collection, about this deal, because it's proving very popular. Remember, over 20% of that stock has gone now. This is the main collection here for you, okay? So all the details on your screen, all 59 elements included for £69. Remember, this is brand new to us, and already we're taking off, over £10 for our UK viewers, over $20 for our US viewers as well. And it is stunning. You've already seen that Mariposa in action, that beautiful dye. You're going to get the Vanessa dye included in there as well. Those 2 beautiful sentiments, thinking of you and sending love. You get the little the backing, if you like, as well for each of those sentiments to help them really pop off the page. You then got the Stamp and Die Butterfly Love and Butterfly Friendship, and again many different pieces within that collection, but you've got the kind of dies to cut out the beautiful stamps. I'm sure we'll see those in more detail in just a bit. And what we're going to come on to in just a few moments, the Peony and the Climbing Rose, those quilling dies. Again, if you're one of those people who has, perhaps tried traditional quilling and you found it difficult, these are amazing. Now, this collection is the full collection. A few of you, our American viewers, will have seen a similar collection to this on HSN. However, the collection that you will have seen will not have had these 3 components. And again, we've already had comments from people going, brilliant, now I can get these 3 pieces and complete the collection, as it were. The great news is, as we just go through these 3 components here, these are on a bit of a deal for you. So, $12.99 for the Vanessa, or $16.95 if you want to go for that. Then add that into your basket with your Sending Love. So that is that beautiful 2-piece die set, $3.99 or $5.95. And then you've also got the 18-piece Butterfly Friends collection, $12.99 or $16.95. Doing the maths on that, pop all of that into your basket. That gives you your £30 or $30 spend, which means you will then, well, A, complete your collection, but B, you will get another 10% off as well. So get those into your basket and don't miss out. So many lovely comments still coming in. A few questions as well, which we will throw towards Craig in just a few moments' time. But remember, those comments getting you a step closer to winning vouchers, of course, as well. £20 or $20 to spend with us here at Crafthouse TV, and 2 vouchers to win before the end of the show. So I think we're going across the other side of the studio now to have a look at those quilling dies, because again, it's something that can be quite fiddly, something that can be quite difficult, but actually, when you've got this set, it makes it a lot easier, Craig, doesn't it?
It really, really is. When you see how you can actually create these flowers, your jaw is literally going to go, really?
What's it going to do?
So it's going to go, because it is literally 1 die cut, 1 rollover, 1 tiny bit of glue. You might want to put a couple of dabs of glue, but that's it. That's all you need to do. And by doing that, you're going to get these really nice, tiny,
wow, look at
super
that.
cool flowers. Now look at these ones there. So that one there that I've just used and done already. So that's your climbing rose. And then what we are going to do in a moment, I've got a few of them already good to go, but we're going to be using the peony for this one. So straight away, so this is how the die looks. So this is how it looks, and it will just and no more fit your Gemini Mini as well. So it just fits it and no more. So perfect. If you are wanting to create flowers, you're maybe just wanting to sit down, maybe watch a bit of TV, you're able to use your Mini. And of course, again, it's another, as I would call, bit box size. How many of you at home have got kind of like strips of cardstock, that kind of size? You never know quite what to do with them. You're able to create your flowers. So what we're going to do is, let's just bring in some texture cards. So this one is from our 12x12 texture pads. It's not on the show, but it is on the website, so you'll be able to check them out. I think we were actually using them yesterday, Ben, weren't we?
What's that?
The 12x12 texture pads.
Oh,
we
yes.
were using them yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tape that one down and hold that into place. What I'm also just going to do as well, this is where you get all that additional bits of detail. So you've got your leaves, you can see here, 2 different sizes, and then you've got your calyxes. Now let me just show you these ones, because I was like, I didn't know what to, I actually thought there was some kind of other flower. And then what Sharon explained to me is, now look at that. Look how that finishes
so it's like
off your flower.
Stopper almost.
Yeah, so it's just finishing it off. So if you have that on a card and you do happen to see underneath, instead of seeing bits of glue or just that bottom part of your quilled flower, you're going to get that nice bit of greenage to it underneath. Finishes it off, it rounds it off. If you want to actually use it as a flower, you can do. Be a bit creative, but also, I will start die cutting, promise. What Sharon's also done, you'll be able to see tiny little holes.
Yeah.
So if you do want to use your fabric, because you can do, maybe if you want to do like a stabilizer or a material like that where you would need to use your stabilizer, and you want to use your stamens, maybe like from the flower forming, you can actually feed your really thin jewellery wire, so you can add your stamens into the middle and that as well. So think where else you could be doing that.
You can make your own little mini bouquets of flowers.
Of course you can.
Love that.
What about coming up, obviously, in the month of November here in the UK, Remembrance Sunday?
Yeah.
So what about making your own? Because I make my own every year. I always put a donation in our charity boxes, whether it's online or in a local store, but I always make my own. Imagine making your own with these ones. You know, they really are really smart.
Just to touch on that, I think you did just mention, but Delana asked, can you cut felt with the quilling dies? So can you use other materials with the quilling dies?
Yeah, you can do. Some of the materials as well, I'm sure Sharon will explain as well just shortly, but some of them you would need to use kind of like your stabilisers or that.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to do things with some materials or that, then absolutely you can do. We'll go over that again just in a moment, just so that you know. But yeah, absolutely you can do. Same with vellum, acetate, etc., etc. I don't see why you're not. I've never tried it. I've never tried the flower forming foam, but there's no reason as to why it wouldn't. And actually, because then what you could do is once you've folded it, just give it a bit of a waft, you know, with your heat tool.
Yeah.
And then what that's going to do is that's also then going to start to actually do your shapeage to it. So it starts to shape some of them. So yeah, absolutely. Go for it if you want to as well. But what we're going to do is now, this is the fun bit. What I will do first, before we actually start to do the folding over, I'm going to add a bit of ink to it, Ben.
Okay.
So this is the only bit you kind of need to remember. Either just ink both sides of the petals if you want, or what you can just do is I'm just adding a bit of our water reactive ink. So once again, this is still the plum jam that I'm using. We've got that one on the show as part of the 3 for 2. But all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to add just a bit of colour to the ink. So I'm just going to add that on. So we're just going to add this bit on.
Details there of your Harmony ink pads, your water reactive dye ink pads there. $4.99, $6.95, or they're on a 3 for 2 as well. Don't forget, do shop the show, because the great thing is, of course, particularly if you're watching on our website, you can watch us and shop at the same time. So you can get the 3 for 2 on the ink pads. We've got 3 for 2 on the tri-blends, 3 for 2 on card stock as well. So it's a great time to stock up your craft room supplies.
And it's supplies you're going to be using within this collection, that's for sure. Now, what you're wanting to do at this point, we've inked that part. Now you want to flip it over and ink the opposite side. Because what we're going to do, keeping in mind, we're going to be folding it over. So you need to flip it over. So we've done that side. So flip it over, and then you're going to ink on the opposite side. Alternatively, if you maybe think, I won't remember that, Craig, just ink it all. But what we will do is I'll show you the way Sharon explained it to me. So we're just going to, once again, add in our ink. So we can be using our double-sided papers. So if I go back to the fabrics or that, if you use a cotton and use your stabiliser. With that one, what you would do is use your metal shim. But double-sided papers, or these pattern papers, if you use something that's like a 180, and then that's going to form just beautifully. But with your double-sided papers as well, you don't need to worry about maybe the pattern on one side and it blank on the other, because you're going to have that pattern all the way round. So now what I'm just going to do is you've got this perforated edge, or this perforated line down the centre. That's not for you to cut or tear, anything like that. What that's to do is we're then going to fold this one over. So we're folding it over, and because we have inked the opposite side, Ben, see how the flowers now match up. So we've got the ink on that one and the ink on that one. It matches up just perfectly. And then what we're going to do is fold that one off, just like that. And what Sharon's done as well is they've been offset for you. So you don't need to worry about doing it die cutting twice, moving them to the side so they're offset. It's all done for you. So once again, there we go. I'm just going to press that into place. Then I'm going to bring in our quilling flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start quilling tool to do our quilling flower. So I'm just going to start this one off. Now you've got a nice strand just at the base, just to start you off. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start off and I'm just going to turn it. Now I'm doing it so the ink side is facing me. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'm actually quilling in with the ink, because you need to remember again, we're actually going to bend them back. So that's where the ink's going to actually show. So then I'm just going to use my tacky glue. Tacky glue is going to be your best friend here. You can, if you want, use a red liner tape, but honestly, I actually do suggest use your tacky glue, because it's going to hold really quick and it's going to firmly and securely hold it. So then all that I'm doing, I'm quite taut. I'm not being real strong, because I don't want it obviously to tear, but I'm just being quite taut. And then all that I'm just doing is I'm just rolling it. I'm just rolling it. That's all the bit of glue that I'm using, because what you'll find is the way that Sharon explained it to me, which I didn't realise either, is glue starts to travel. So as I'm working this all the way around, the glue actually, best way to explain it, it squishes it. It starts to squish it along, but then it will stop at one point, but you don't need the glue all the way across. What we're then just going to do is we've got to the end just there. I'm just going to add just another wee bit of our wet glue, and then I'm just going to fold that one over. Now, all of that along the bottom, it's not jumped, it's not come out of place, it stayed symmetrical, it stayed in line, and you can see we've got the flowers. If I then just pull them apart, now you could be shaping them, we've got the ball tools on the show as well, you could be shaping them if you wanted to, but then if I then just pull my quilling tool out, and I'm just doing it just quite easily, but if I just then pull that one out, straight away it's nice, it's even, it's flat, and then this is where you've got your flowers. And because it's all been separated nicely, it's all been spaced perfectly for you, that's then how it looks. You can manipulate it slightly if you want, but then bring in one of the calyxes. So I've already got these ones die cut. That's how it looks, just like this one. So that's how it looks, but then all you would do is come along with your ball tool, and I'm just going to add a wee bit of shape to it. Once again, you have got that die cut hole already done for it, and because you've used your quill and flower, or even your tweezers, you can use your tweezers, you've still got that bit of a gap within the middle just there, so you can feed your really thin wire through, use your actual stamens if you wanted to. So we're then just going to use our hot glue for this one. So I'm just going to add a bit of hot glue onto there. Then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to pop that one on, and then just because it's hot glue, I'll just use my poker tool. Look how that finishes it off.
It's just amazing.
You might not think at the moment, you think, well, yeah, it's just a bit of cardstock, calyx on the back, Craig. But if you start to not only put them in on cards, but home decor, if you do see any of that edges, you're seeing the green, you're seeing that foliage, it's just giving it more that kind of realistic look. But then all that I'm going to do is I've got some of them already done. I've also got the peony that I've already done as well. Well, I've just done the peony. I've also got some of the climbing roses exactly the same way, and I'm just going to form this card. But what I just wanted to show you is if you wanted to add some shape to them, either using your hand or using your sponge that comes with the set, you can just start to shape them. And just like you would do with the ink, you would then shape one side, and then you would just flip it over and do the opposite side, so that when they match and they meet together, they're going to be perfect. Alternatively, shape them all if you want. Well, you are shaping them all because you can see on that side, then you've got the other curvature to it.
And just remind us the cardstock you're using here to create these.
So this card that I'm using is our 12 by 12 texture cardstock.
Okay.
Again, you could be using our 8 by 8 texture cardstock if you want. Always suggest, Sharon would say, maybe round about a 180, because it's that more, don't want to say pliable, but you get that more shape to it. If you use a real thick card, you know, it could crack and then it could crease, and it's just more better if you do use maybe round about a 180. But again, keep in mind all your different pattern papers. For instance, this one here, again, is from our Garden of Love, Sarah's signature. And if you were to use a pattern paper, you don't need to worry about any white areas, or you don't have to worry about inking it. You can if you want, but you don't have to. And it's double-sided, so therefore it's going to give you all that detail already done for you.
Garden of Love, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, that is just one of the many paper pads and cardstock that we've got on the show on a 3 for 2. So the cardstock we've got on a 3 for 2, some of the inks we've got on a 3 for 2, some of the tri-blends we've got on a 3 for 2 as well. So do shop the show and take advantage of these deals. Get these deals in your basket with your Sharon Callis collection, and you will be well away, because you're seeing actually just how usable this collection is, from the first demo that Craig did at the start of the show, and now you're seeing these quilling dies in action as well. I just think it's such a cool collection.
Quilling are a genius, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely. Because then I am going to finish this one off. But don't do this. This is one of those, don't do. I'm just going to show you. This is what kind of like a traditional quilling flower would look
What are you
like.
doing?
I'm telling you, Sharon,
Oh.
Sharon, look at her. Can we go back to Sharon?
No,
Can we go back to
Sharon's head in
Sharon?
hands. No, where's the zero? Get the zero up, Sharon. Zero.
So, with Sharon's collection, this is what you would usually think of. Got a zero. This is what a normal quilling flower would look like. You've got that one strand.
Yeah.
So you have to die cut that. You have to die cut it again. You then have to marry it all up.
No.
So you have to do that for yourself. So you've got to offset it yourself.
Yeah.
Then you've got to add that glue as well.
Eesh.
But because it's not married up 100%, what's going to happen as you start to roll it,
Oh, no.
it's going to start to split,
Yeah.
just like that. Whereas the way that Sharon's come up with it, you've seen how easy it was. One pass through, one roll through, one little bit of glue at the start, a little bit at the end, and we are able to create these. So again, if you want to do your cottons with your actual stabilizers, you can do. Your materials such as vellum acetate, you can do as well. But then all that I'm going to do is let's use our glue gel for this one. And I'm just going to add, so this one here, I've not got metallics on the back. So let's just do that one. So let's just add that one on. And we're going to pop this one on just to the bottom, just there. That's going to finish it off. And then let's just, I could have used the hot glue for this one, but let's pop that one there, and then we'll pop that one on. And then what I'm also just going to do is let's take that one. So we'll pop that one there, and then we'll also pop that one. I did have
So pretty, this card, isn't it?
Third
These
one.
flowers. I mean,
But look at the different
Yeah.
colours that you can be using. As Sharon was saying, if you want to go vintage, you want to go all your different tones, your deeper tones, brights if you wanted to,
Yeah.
your matte cards, your mirror cards, you can be using them. But then just to finish it off, what we're just going to do is add these parts. Now remember, Ben, these also come within that same set. So you've got this one here. What about also adding any of the foliage that come with your flower forming?
Yeah.
Just to add that one in. Then in the centres, if you've got your gems, using them, but we've also got the glitter glues on the show as well. So this is from Sarah's signature collection, the rose gold. All that I'm just going to do is just add just a little bit into there, into the centre. So that covers up the centre. However, you could fold the centre of the petals into the middle. That's going to cover up the middle. But then there we go. You're going to
yeah.
have so much fun. There's no stress when it comes to creating these flowers. You've seen how easily that I've done it. Think of the different materials that you've got. Maybe make a wee box or an envelope box, and that's all that you need to do to make a really simple but really effective card.
I don't know about you, but that I think is going to win the very prestigious Demo of the Day from me. That's my favourite of the day. That was my favourite of the day so far. Let's see what our Irish correspondent is saying. Come in, Sharon. Come in. There we go. Yes, round of applause. What do we get? Is he getting a 10 for that one as well?
Yeah, all is forgiven, Greg.
Thank you. I know I was a bit nervous of doing that, but then I just thought I just wanted to kind of prove as well, maybe someone that's never thought of doing quilling, and I just want to remind them as to, do you know what, quilling can be really fun, but it could be a pain in the bum as well sometimes when you're having to do all the die cutting and all the rolling, whereas what you've come up with, straight away, you've got that flower.
Yeah, it's good to demonstrate as well that people that you don't need to cut it.
No.
Because some people might think with the perforation,
Yep.
you have to, but you don't.
No.
It's simply a fold line.
Honestly,
The only way that I would ever separate the maze, if you had a gorgeous single-sided paper that you desperately wanted to make a flower out of, then you can get away with it.
Yeah, you would do. You would get away with it. But other than that, and I'm obviously saying it's a crafter, you're a crafter as well, you've come up with it. There's no other way that I would be cutting it. So I'm going to say here, do not cut them in half. Do not cut them in half. You don't need to. Fold it over. That's all that you need to do. Don't cut it in half.
absolutely. And just if you do cut it in half, Sharon will be there waving that big fat zero at you, and you don't want that, do you not? It's £69 for the collection, $85, and you get those two quilling dies within that to create the peony, and then of course that beautiful rose as well. Lots of you shopping with us this afternoon, this morning indeed, if you're with us in the United States. Loads of comments coming in, which we'll take a look at in just a few moments' time. But this is an exciting show, but it gets, well, even more exciting tomorrow because it's the start of something very special.
Ready for some fun? Our biggest celebration ever is right around the corner. So, head on over to the Crafters Companion website and let's get carried away.
Yeah, birthday week kicks off tomorrow with an early access show, couple of shows with me and Sarah. You will not want to miss out. Make sure you're one of the very first to get involved in our birthday event. Thank you for all the comments coming in. I tell you what, there has been so much love for this collection. Tall Chicky 8 on YouTube says, I just love Sharon's butterflies and blooms. Yolanda on Facebook, what a pretty collection. Diane on YouTube, I love peonies, one of my favourite flowers. Mary says, how great to watch Craig and listen to Sharon whilst crafting at home, a super way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Another message here which says, these dies have so much to offer, absolutely love the versatility and elegance. Great job, Sharon. This collection is gorgeous, says Jenny. Love the quilling flowers. Love Sharon's beautiful butterflies, says Cindy. Love these flowers, says Devaney. I mean, there's loads coming in. Yes, says Crafting Stacey. I need these dies. Beautiful, beautiful butterflies, says Sarah. Denise says, beautiful card, Craig, as always. And Diane says, yes, that's my favourite demo too, Ben. Wasn't it brilliant? Love it. If you have just joined us, I cannot believe we've only got 50 minutes remaining. Where's the time going on the Crafthouse today? But it's a brand new collection from a new member of the Crafters TV family, the lovely Sharon Callis, who joins us via the wonders of modern technology from Ireland. So I think it's definitely worth, once again, for people who have just joined us to kind of recap on the whole collection again, Sharon, if we can. And can we get you to take us through the boards and show us exactly what we're going to be getting with this collection today?
Sure, no problem. We'll start with the flowers. So we get a peony and we get a rose in this collection. But what you'll notice with these is they're quite small. So each of these packs comes with a quilling die, and you'll see, if you haven't seen this before, it's a double-sided quilling die. The purpose of this is that it eliminates the need for you to cut two layers, eliminates the needs for you to layer them up, and you don't use as much glue, and you can just one cut, one fold, one row.
Yeah.
You'll also get in it the foliage, and you get the calyx, which is in nature, when you see the stem meet the flower, it has a little bit of foliage. So that's what that mimics in it. So we have the rose there as well, and you can see it's real delicate as well. And you get a large and a small piece of foliage there in that one. So that was the flowers. So we're going to move on then to the, I'll tell you what to do. I'm going to move these around.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the butterflies first.
Yes.
So this one here is Vanessa. In the pack, and I'll bring around a Vanessa for you to see. So you will get a base or matte die. Now this you don't traditionally get in butterfly die sets. So you will get your butterfly, or you might get some decorative elements, but you don't get a base. So we've added that in for you. And that gives you this base here.
Uh-huh.
You can create fantastic toppers with that. You'll get a decorative outline die or a frame. Now you can put the butterfly in the center of this, or you can just stamp inside it a sentiment. So you can mix and match or use them separately.
Yeah.
This die cut here is actually the center of this. Traditionally you would call it waste, but because of the shape, you can actually stamp on this or use it in another project. So you're really getting 4 die cuts from this. So that's Vanessa. And I'm just going to show you actually before we go. In the butterfly, the wings actually lift. So the die cut detail is there.
Yeah.
And we actually have embossing as well.
Uh-huh.
When you put your inks on that, it makes it stand out more. And of course, we've got our peonies on their side. Next up, we have Mariposa. So this is like a butterfly with a trailing decorative element. You have your base, you have your decorative overlay, and you have, that's the waist die cut from the center. And again, you've got your butterfly with its lifting detail.
Love it.
And I'm just going to show you up a bit closer. I'll bring it up.
Yeah, perfect. We can see that.
I think I have it now.
Yeah, gorgeous. So clever.
The color detail in there is where I had passed it through the Gemini to cut. I left it on the Gemini, but put on the purple embossing mat, passed it through again, and that gives the embossed detail. But before I left it, or lifted the butterfly from the die, I inked the rear of the die. So it went into the areas that were exposed, and that gave us the detail there. So that was Mariposa. Okay, so we have then two sets. We've got Butterfly Friendship and Butterfly Love.
Yeah.
In each set, you would get a set of butterfly dies, sentiments, and some decorative elements, but all of them have their own outline dies. So they all come together in the one package. In the butterflies themselves, you'll notice there's space for colouring. So you use your tri-blend, your alcohol pens, your aqua markers in that to give more of personalised look. But down here you'll see we've got two smaller butterflies. They're actually the negatives of these.
I see, yeah.
So you can overlay these as well. Just gives it a little bit extra. So for the sentiments, we've got Butterfly Kisses. Without change, there would be no butterflies. Be your own kind of beautiful. And then this decorative little swirl. So if you're doing your backgrounds and your bubbles as well. So with the Midas inks maybe on a pre-inked background, they're fantastic. I'm just going to show you really quick as well, a detail. This is the butterfly that is stamped.
That's lovely, yes.
But I did a second stamping of it, but cut out around, added some gems to where the markings are and layered it together. And that's a colour wash background there with the Harmony inks. So you can create your own backgrounds on that and add your foliage. So that was in the Butterfly Love collection. So we have your two large butterflies and the two negatives again. And then for the sentiment, you make my heart flutter, spread your wings. Butterflies remind us it's never too late to transform ourselves. Float like a butterfly, a little decorative swirl there, and you give me butterflies. And as I said, all these come with their outline dies.
Yeah.
So there's no fussy cutting at all.
Other than the sentiments.
And then lastly, we have our two sentiments. So we have our base, we have our sentiment overlay, and then combined together, that's what gives your toppers. Pop some ink on them maybe before you assemble them. Put an ink pad on it or 3D gel, put it on your project like we've done here. And then that finishes off your project. Add your flowers and that's it.
It is such a brilliant collection. Thank you, Sharon, so much. And what I love, still the comments coming in, like Torchicky8 on YouTube saying, this collection allows you to be as simple or as extravagant as you want to be. The foliage so gorgeous, it looks so delicate, says Panda Crafts on YouTube. And then God Desires for Me on YouTube says, the designs and stamps are so well thought out, so creative, and beauty is not compromised. What an awesome collection. And Alison on Facebook, referring to Craig's last make, says, Craig, if you want to, you can send that card to me. It's fabulous. I'm having it, Alison. I'm having it. Right, let's have a look at some of the other goodies that we've got on the show, because we've got some awesome 3-for-2 deals. Do you know, whilst you've got your basket open or your cart open, why not add even more in there and take advantage of the 3-for-2 deals, like, for example, on the tri-blends. I mean, goodness me, you've got some beautiful stamps, haven't you, within this collection? Some beautiful stamps that you can get colouring, and all of these beautiful tri-blends, I think, will just be great with those stamps. The Tri-Blend's superb as well. We were talking about these earlier on, and yesterday on Colour Me Happy, we chatted about the Tri-Blends just a little bit, how great they are to be able to get into colouring, how easy it is for you to be able to blend. And you know, if you're a little bit kind of worried about colouring, these are a great way to get into it. So you've got your essential blends there, which are $79.99 or $119.95. And then we've got your deep blends as well. 3-in-1, don't forget, as the name Tri-Blend suggests. And they are on a 3 for 2 if you want to add those into your basket. Cardstock on a 3 for 2, of course, as well today. I got some inks on a 3 for 2. Shop the show, have a look. All of the goodies that we have got for you on this show. And whatever you do, don't miss out on this collection. You can go for individual elements of this collection should you want to, but the main value is right there. Look, £69 or $85. If you're a platinum member, comes down even further for you as well. And for those of you who have already seen this on HSN and you're going, oh, I think I've already got this collection, remember the 3 elements that you didn't have in your collection, which are Vanessa, the Sending Love collection, and also that Butterfly Friendship that we were just looking at with Sharon a few moments ago. Just to tell you, platinum members, $55.20 this comes down to, or $68, which is crazy value for money when you consider how easy it is to use this kit, how many times you'll be using this kit as well, and for all sorts of people, all sorts of friends and family members, all sorts of celebrations and birthdays and anniversaries and weddings. And as we said, not just in your card making as well. You know, think about how versatile those quilling dies are going to be. And you know, chatting to Craig about the different materials that you can use your quilling dies for, you are going to have an absolute ball with these. I really truly believe it. And just to stress as well, for those of you who bought the HSN collection and haven't got the 3 other pieces, if you like, if you get all of those 3 together, that will take you over your £30 or $30 spend, which will get you an extra 10% off those 3 items as well. So many reasons to shop with us on the Crafthouse today, but enough chatting from me, because honestly, I have never seen him so excited, and he is an excitable character, as you all know, but he's loving this. He's like a kid on Christmas Eve over there, aren't you, Craig?
I am. You know, you want to know what I'm like at Christmas on Christmas Eve, then not only are you going to find out in like a couple of months, but you know, this is it. This is like the pre-show at Christmas. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a bit of the stamps and dies. We're going to do a bit of our own background. We'll add a few of the water reactive inks, and we'll do a wee bit of colouring of the tri-blends. So what I'm going to do first is I've just taken some of our stamping cardstock, which is on this show, and I've just cut this to 6x6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the Butterfly Love. So Sharon was showing you all the different combinations, things that you can make. You've got the stamps, use them on their own. You've got the dies, use them to cut out the stamped image if you want to. But what we're going to do is, I'm just going to take this one for now. Yeah. You could be using any of them, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually just a way to create my own background using this stamp. But again, actually, I tell you what, let's go for. Let's use 2 of them. So we'll use one of the larger ones to start with. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to bring in my stamping mat. So not only with the stamp sets are you able to create your toppers, you know, your die cut detailed toppers, you can then start to make your own backgrounds if you want to with the stamps. So it's all going to work, it's all going to complement, and it's all going to be unique because you've created them. So I've just taken our Finesse. This is our alcohol proof ink pad. And then all I'm just going to do is I'm just going to stamp them out. So I'm not going to do, well, I'll probably do all this one. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do just shortly is I'm going to use a tri-blend pen, but I'll show you that bit in a minute. And then all that I'm doing is just randomly, Ben, just stamping my butterfly. And as I always say, when you want to do this style or this technique, it's always kind of key to stamp off your page. I was going to say, I didn't want to point out, but you missed a bit at the top there, and at the bottom, you've just got a little bit skew whiff there. Too many iron brews. Could be. I think it's more like the cola drink. Oh, you know, that brand. At least you're not opening drinks during the show like Debbie was earlier on. Oh, was she? Oh, she was cracking open all sorts across the other side. I tell you what, whilst I was talking, she was having a party to herself. I did see that empty tin of cider at the side of me just now. I did wonder. Tin of cider. I do have a drink at the side of me, but it's just flavoured water. Yeah. I thought and just for the record as well, Debbie wasn't really. I know you were Craig really joking. Yeah. It wasn't cider. It was vodka. We've got Johnny and Adam in the gallery
Yeah.
today, and Johnny's just said it was Coke, Diet Coke. I bet you it was the other one. I bet you it was the Pepsi Max with cherry. Bet you.
What, Debbie?
Debbie.
What makes you say that?
Oh, she's addicted to it.
Oh, is she?
She loves it. There is other drinks with cherry in them that's available. Not that we have to say this here,
No.
but there is. But yes, she is addicted to her Pepsi with cherry
As much as you're addicted to your white chocolate orange.
and Coca-Cola together.
Wow.
That'll be my Saturday night. That'll be me bliss.
Yeah.
Just between in front of the TV, crafting away
Yeah.
with white chocolate orange
Yeah.
at the side of me and a nice cold glass of Coca-Cola.
And what's on TV to make the perfect night? And you don't have to say Crafters TV.
Well, you see, Britain's Got Talent's finished now,
yeah.
isn't it? Last week was the last week.
Strictly,
so
you
we're
into
doing...
that?
Oh,
Yeah, starts tonight.
Schofield's back tonight with the cube.
Ah, the £1 million cube.
The £1 million cube.
Yes.
He's back tonight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I'll be watching that one instead.
He'll be well in.
Yeah,
Well in.
I'm not much of a Strictly fan. I know that's starting. I'm more of an X Factor fan, but seeing that's not on this year, then I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'm not much of a Strictly. I can't dance, so therefore I don't watch it.
We don't have to dance and watch it at the same time. Just sit and watch it.
True. Yeah. I'll maybe flick it on and just see who's.
Yeah,
I
see
don't
what you
even
think.
know what celebrities are on.
Well, I won't ruin it for you. Anyway.
Now, what I'm then just going to do, so I've just created my own background. Now, you can then colour it in with your tri-blends or maybe your classiques or, as Sharon was saying, your aqua pens if you're going to use your waterproof ink pad. But what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go to the ice grey, and I'm just going to go to the lightest end, IG2. So then what I'm just going to do, so again, I've gone very random. I would have been a bit more particular with a bit more time, but I have got one already finished.
Yeah.
But all that I'm just going to do with this one, Ben, is using that lighter tone, I'm just going to go round the edge of the butterfly. So I'm just going all the way around. Now you can do this with a light blue, maybe one of the light teals if you want to. But what we're just doing is if we go round, it's kind of giving it a shadow. It's kind of giving it an outline, but what it's doing as well is it's just finishing off the butterfly. It's just making it kind of stand out. It's making it pop. Now that's, you know me, Ben, you know I hate using that word. I hate saying when someone pops off your card, but it does. You're going to see it in a moment.
You said it twice.
I know. And that's the last time I'll say it.
Say
It
what?
stands out on the card. You just went caught me there. But what you'll see is whether it's your classiques, whether it's your tri-blends, because after a moment or two where the alcohol evaporates, it goes that very bit lighter, that slight bit lighter.
I don't think I've ever asked you actually. What is your take on these tri-blends? You a big fan?
Oh, I love the tri-blend pens. So many different reasons. Don't get me wrong, I love my classics because with the classics, we've got that full range of different kind of colours, different shades we've got. But with the classics, they're so easy in the fact of I've got them in my storage bag. So for instance, there's tonight, if I'm crafting and colouring in front of the TV, I just pick up my storage bag. It's got all the tri-blends in. I can still do my blending because it's got the 3 tones within that one pen. And again, space-wise, saves me on the space because I've got them just at the side of my desk. But then if I show you this one and go close up, what I'm just going to do is you'll be able to see there how it just gives it that backdrop shadow.
Yeah.
Then
Makes it pop off the page.
It does. It does. I'm not falling for it. Not falling for it. Now, with the one that I'd done beforehand, I just used the small butterfly. But see what I mean? See that difference it just makes just by doing that off shadow. So if you want to make a card, but you don't want to do a lot of colouring, but you still want to have that bit of wow to it, just go around with your lightest grey. I always use the lightest one, IG2. You could go a bit darker if you want, that's up to you. So then what we can do is let's bring in some cardstock. So once again, we're going back to our Centura Pearl. This one again is the trends. I know we do have the metallics on the show as well on the website, so just go and check them out. But I'm using Baby Pink Glitter card, which is, as well as the actual trends, it is part of 3 for 2.
It certainly is, yeah.
So what I'm going to do is take my backing off, and what I'm just doing, if I get rid of that bit, and I'm just going to take this backing off. If you stock up on these Centura Pearl with ours, because it's 310 GSM, use it as a card blank if you want, but cut into it, emboss it, foil onto it. You can do all the different techniques that you know and love with the actual Centura Pearl. But same with the glitter card, because it's shedless. So I wouldn't always necessarily use a glitter card for...
just remind me actually, sorry to interrupt, the glitter card. Somebody asked earlier on about what glue to use with the glitter card. Right,
so what I would usually suggest is, and I've not done it on this one because I want to get through as much as I can, but see how, whether I like my double-sided tape, but whether you use your tape runner, just because the nature of the glitter card, because it's shedless, and because it's all that particles, over time, what you felt, see how with ease that comes off? That comes off with such ease, which means if it's sitting on front of the mantelpiece or that, maybe a bit of heat, over time it will fall off. So I always put a dry glue on, for instance, my tape runner, or I would use my double-sided tape. So I've got that on, so that's going to give me an instant grab. But then what I would also do is come along with my, here we go, my wet glue. So this is our tacky glue. So what I would also do is just come along and just add a layer of the tacky glue. So what that does, Ben, is, as I said, the dry glue, tape runner or our double-sided tape, that gives us the instant grab. But then that wet glue, it dries into the fibres of the cardstock, but also dries into the particles of the shedless glue. So that just means once it's dried, you know, you can bet your bottom dollar it's not going to move. It's going to stay in place and you don't need to worry about it dropping off or falling off. But there's our background, already good to go.
Love it.
So what I'm going to do is move that one out the way. I'm just going to bring in my, again, piece of white stamping card. And what we've done with my die sets, here we go. So this one, I'm actually just wanting the aperture, but we'll show you, we'll do a bit of stamping afterwards and show you how you can use the die that comes out with your stamp sets. So let's go for this one just here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that within the middle, and then let's just take our low tack tape. So this set that I'm using is the Butterfly Love, but of course, you know, you can be using our other set that's comes within the collection that Sharon gives us.
Yeah, that's
so you'd be able to use that
Friendship, isn't it, I think?
The Friendship, yeah. It is indeed. So just layering that one up, and I'm just going to cut this one.
So there's loads of comments coming in about this particular demo, and lots of people loving the shadow technique, which Craig was just showing us. Melanie saying, love that shadow technique. Carol saying, it's amazing how that icy grey makes such a difference. And Jay Clemens on YouTube also saying, what a difference that pen outline makes. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, something so simple like that making such a difference to the overall look of your project, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And the real lightest of blue, that works well as well. Even the lightest of teal or the jades, that works well. But I do always do it with the ice grey too, because I found that that's just what really gives it that wow factor. Even if I go up one shade higher, I'm still impressed with it, but it's still, I just like the ice grey too. I don't know why, I just think that works well. Now there we go, so we've cut our aperture, so actually that's the bit that I want. But what we'll just do is, let's just show you, so there is our die cut piece that we've got there. And what I want to do is, let's bring in the stamped butterfly that matches with this one. So if you're actually wanting the die cut butterfly and to stamp on top, there's then of course the two ways that you can do it. So you can stamp and then die cut, or you can do what I've obviously just done here, is die cut then stamp. So I'm just taking these bits off, and what we can then do is let's pop our stamp on top, and again we'll use just a couple of the tri-blends. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp that with our waterproof ink pad.
So handy to have the die cuts for each of the stamps, isn't it? Again, just gives you more versatility than you would sort of normally expect. Really. I think it's so handy to have them, isn't it?
It is. And I know you know, Ben, I sound like a broken record, but I love my fussy cutting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think twice about sitting and cutting these stamped images out if there wasn't a die set.
But then it takes ages.
But it takes ages. Sometimes I don't have that time to do it. Many don't like fussy cutting. They don't like doing all that fussy cutting with the scissors, so therefore the dies come in handy. But then the die actually enables you then to do what I'm just about to do in a moment, gives you that aperture, but then it gives you that outline if you want. So if you just want I know I'm a bit messy on the back, but you're not going to see that.
Yeah.
If you just wanted the outline, then you can do if you wanted to. But there we go. So we've got our butterfly. Now, what I'm just going to do is let's just bring in our tri-blend pens. Now, I'm not going to colour all this because this isn't actually the demo that I was focused on. I just wanted to show you how you can actually use your tri-blend pens. So what I'm just going to do now is, just like the die, so you can see it there. So I'm going to lift it up myself just so you can see. So you've got all these tiny little dots. So like the die, if you want to pop your gems, your pearls in place, you can be doing that one. Again, you can colour. Now, what about when Sharon was talking, I thought of something else that you could use in them. If you are doing your crafts, if you like to do your, is it the diamond paintings or the crystal art, you know how you get loads of these flatback gems and that left over, use them within these. All that you just need is a tiny little bit of our tacky glue, pop that into the little circles, and then all that you're just going to do is use over your leftover crystals or diamond crystals, any of those that you use within the crafting. So there you're then bringing that in. You're starting to work on the edges of the mixed media and that, perfect for doing that one. But what we can just do is let's just do a little bit of colouring. So like I was doing earlier with the grey, the aqua blue blend, AB1, that would work well as well if you want to do that outline. But then let's just bring in a bit of the pink. So straight away you can just go in and colour it straight on, like you would usually do if you just like to do the one-tone colours.
Yeah.
But tri-blend pens, classics, start to do your shading. So let's go, we'll just pick out this bit. So I'm just going to do that lightest tone first.
Details for your essentials on the bottom of your screen there. They're on a 3 for 2 because you've got your essential blends, you've got your darker blends, haven't you, there as well? Deep blends as well. You've got on a 3 for 2. $79.99 or $119.95. As I keep saying, the tri-blends on 3 for 2s, you've got some of the inks on 3 for 2s and the card stock, plenty of card stock on 3 for 2 as well. So lots of chance to stock up because you will be using all of these in conjunction with this amazing collection, which is proving very popular. And we're not surprised, are we not, Craig?
I am not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, because I knew when we launched them on HSN, you know, I had the absolute pleasure launching them on HSN on behalf of Sharon, but I know many in the UK, because Sharon's well known here in the UK for our designs and our collections, and she's known within the USA as well, but I just knew that as soon as these came, and obviously you guys stateside haven't seen all of this collection till today, then it would blow your mind because of the different styles that you can use. But there we go. So on this side here, I've just done one tone colour, if that's all that you want to do. On this side, I've done the blending. So if you like to do all your different techniques, your water techniques, whether it is with your waterproof ink pads, you can do. But then what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to pop that to the side because that's actually not the bit that I wanted. I just wanted to show you how you can incorporate them. But then let's go back to our background. Now, what I'm away to do, I would probably do this before I actually add it on to my mats and layers, but I'm going to bring in our water reactive. So I'm bringing in ocean blue and fuchsia.
Yeah.
Both of these are on the show as well, part of the 3 for 2. So I'm just laying that colour down. Because it's water reactive, it gives us the ability to do water techniques. Then I'm just going to bring in some water. Just water in there, and I'm just going to bring in my paintbrush. Now, this sort of technique you would also do on your watercolour card, but because I wanted to do my stamping and go around with my alcohol pen, my tri-blend, I've just done it onto our smooth stamping card. But all that I'm just doing is I'm really wetting this down, Ben.
Yeah.
Really wetting this down. And then I'm going to flick. So if I move this out of the way, and just off the back of my hand, trust me, I'm standing back when I do this. Would wash out.
I don't know why I moved back when you said you were going to flick.
I just seen in the middle of the cameras Ben just going like that, sitting back. I was like, I don't know why you're moving.
Like, how bad's his aim?
Well, yeah, and unless I really go like that,
don't
which
you
I won't
dare.
do. I won't do, you know. So definitely won't do that. But I'm just laying that colour down, and then I'm just going to flick. All that I'm doing. So again, I would probably have done this before I'd done my mats and layers. However, still going to add to that effect.
Yeah.
If you've got your sparkle pens, use them. If you've got any of your spritzers at home, use them. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wet my brush again. Let's just do the same just with the blue. So I'm really wetting that one down. So it's just giving a wee bit more interest. Another bit, here we go, pop of colour.
Oh, that's 3 now.
I know, don't know, that's 3 now.
What's
Don't
wrong
know why
with-
I've
what's wrong
said
with
that. Don't know why. But there we go, definitely the last. But I'm just flicking that colour on. Not being neat, not being precise. I just want to get some colour
Great
down.
technique though, isn't it?
And then that's all that I'm going to do. Now, of course, I would start to leave that to dry. So if I just bring that in, just so that you can see just there. So we're starting to get that colour coming through. Imagine though, if that was a sparkle pen or a sparkle pot. Imagine all of that sparkle that just comes through. You would then, of course, spritz all this, use this to create more backgrounds, you know, you could be using with the dies and stamps. I'm just going to get rid of it. Then what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring this in. Now, this wasn't intentional, but I quite like the look. I've got some splatters onto this bit here.
Is that off what you were just doing
So
then?
that was just off of what I just done a moment ago. Now, it wasn't intentional, but I quite like that.
Yeah.
Really like that. So what I've done now, that one, just in case you wonder, that is 5x5.
Yeah.
I've taken another piece from the Trend collection, also on the website. I've just kind of created my own aperture. Just with my paper trimmer, you could use a die if you wanted to. Just big enough so that when I pop that on, I get my matte and layer, but you don't see any of the coloured cardstock. You can see there.
Yeah.
So then what I'm just going to do is then just add my tape on.
It's nice when you get a little happy accident in crafting, isn't
It
it?
is. It's nice when sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Because what I'll do, I'll just blend into the background, but not overly powering, just enough, just to, as I say, blend in. So then what I'm going to do, again, I would leave that background to dry just a wee bit longer. But what I'm just going to do is I'm going to lift this up with some foam pads. So let's just bring this on. Now this is when, Ben, before I put the foam pads on, why not pop some acetate behind the back?
Love that idea.
Lift it up with your shaker tape. There is then your shaker card if you wanted to. But then all that I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop that one over the top. So we're still getting this background look coming through. We're getting some of that colour coming through, and that happy accident is just drawing that out for you within the eyes. Then what I'm going to do is I've just got to strip another bit of white smooth stamping card. So we're then just going to bring in one of the sentiments from the sentiment sheet. Now I'm just going to stamp straight onto this cardstock, but don't forget, you get the die as well. So if I bring in the coordinated die, so you can see once you've stamped that, it's then going to die cut out. And do you know what I love about these? You'll maybe noticed on Sharon's boards that she showed you. You get a real nice fine white outside edge. Sometimes they can be maybe about 3 or 4 millimeter, that outside edge between your ink mark and the edge of the cardstock, but it's nice and fine. But all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to use my stamp sentiment for this one. Then what we're going to do is, once again, let's just pop that one on. Then I'm not adding any extra colour on, but I'm just going to use my alcohol proof ink pad because I've got this to hand. Then what I'm just going to do is, let's turn it over because I've got black mark. I'm going to just roughly get that kind of in the middle. It's just so that I can stamp the sentiment into the middle. So I'm just going to stamp that there. There we go. Then what I'm just going to do, once again, just with my tape runner, I'm just going to add my adhesive onto the back. Strip of Centura Pearl from the Trend collection. We've got that one just there. I'm just going to be careful just to press that. Then let's just bring in a few foam pads to lift this a bit higher. Now what I'm going to do, Ben, is if I pop one there and one there. Now remember, obviously you've got your aperture within there. So I'm going to pop another foam pads, but I'm going to do 2 layers on this one.
All right.
Just so that it's going to balance it out. Because you need to remember, this layer has a foam pad and this one is dipped in.
Yeah.
So if I then just take these ones off, pop that one within the middle, I'm just doing it right along the middle of the strip. Then I'm going to bring in, now this is my box of the Diamond Sparkles. This is all of them that are on the show today.
Wow.
So what I'm just going to do, well, I've actually
got them all.
I've got them all. So I've got all 4 sets,
Cool,
loads of them.
mister.
Keep in mind, you're getting the essential, you're getting the pearls, you're getting the glitter.
Did you get 1,080 in there? Can you count them?
Right, 1, 2, no. But no, I'm just using this one from the essential.
Yeah.
My mind's gone blank. Johnny, what was it? There was essential, there was glitter, Pearl, and
Sparkle.
Sparkle. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Sparkle was the other one. So there we go. So I'm just going to bring in a few. So you've got, at least on these ones, you've got three different sizes, and you've got 5 of each. So you've got 5 of one size, 5 of another, and 5 of the small. And then all that I'm going to do is let's just do one.
Is it always an odd number you do as well with these?
It is.
The rule, why is that?
It's something to do with, obviously, the way that it looks. It's pleasing on the eye. When it comes to things like crafting or gardening, anything like that, and even home decor, you're finding if you do it in odd numbers, so 3, 5, 7, 9, it's more pleasing to the eye.
Gardening as well?
Gardening as well, plants. If you notice gardeners, they'll always do them in odd numbers as well when planting plants.
There you go.
But there we go, a very vibrant colour with that one.
It's brilliant.
And then what I'm just going to do is bring this one in, very similar, but I just used it with a matte cardstock, so not the glitter, not the Centura Pearl. That's how that one looks. But just actually using your die, so don't think of it as it being a waste. Use it like I've done, creating an aperture and that bit of colour in the background. So then, you know, with one die cut and one stamp, we've created a full card. And you can see we've got 59 elements in total. Unbelievable.
Do you know what? There's so much love for Craig's demos today and this collection as a whole, really. You're seeing the versatility, aren't you? And isn't it great to be able to see, you know, Craig's take on this? We're going to be seeing some of Sharon's finished cards in just a few moments' time. But there is so much versatility when you think that you've got all of the different dies, the sentiments included in here as well, all of the stamps that you've got in this collection, those beautiful quilling dies as well. I mean, seriously, as a collection which works beautifully together, amazing. But then, you know, particularly those flowers, think about using those in your other crafts as well. Diane saying, absolutely love this technique. Marie saying, thank you, Sharon, for a wonderful quilling set made easier. And for that last card that Craig's made, Carlene Sampson says on Facebook, love that card. And Gwen Terry says, awesome card. Craig is so talented. Let me just tell you, we've got about, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes remaining if you want to get in touch with us and stand the chance of winning in our giveaway, because we're giving away 2 either £20 or $20 vouchers to spend with us here at Crafthouse TV. So all you have to do is comment. Don't forget though, this is the deal. This is the main bundle, the Sharon Callis Butterflies and Blooms collection. 59 elements in total that you are going to be receiving. And don't forget, those elements are, you've got the beautiful die set, the Mariposa and the Vanessa. It was the Mariposa, wasn't it? We saw the first demo with a little bit earlier on. At the start of the show. Remember, by the way, if you have just joined us or if you've only been with us for like the last half hour or so, you can go back and watch the start of the show a little bit earlier on, so you can see that demo. Then you've got the beautiful sentiment dies, the thinking of you and sending love. Those come with the beautiful kind of background layers as well to help it pop off the page. I know Craig will have appreciated that. You've got the Butterfly Love and Butterfly Friendship stamp and die set. So again, that last card that you saw there with Craig, that was using components from I think it was the Butterfly Friendship. But again, great for the fact that you get the stamp, which you can use individually. Then you've got the die, which you can of course use individually. You know, if you want to be able to just use your own die cuts, cut out the apertures, you can do that as well. But then of course, you've got perfectly the die to cut out the stamp as well, which is just brilliant. So many ways to interchange these, use them together, use them individually, which is great. And then for me, I think my favourite in the collection, those quilling dies. You've got the peony, you've got the climbing rose as well. And again, if you're thinking to yourself, well, quilling, I mean, that's normally quite a difficult craft to tackle. Not with this system, not with the way that Sharon has put these dies together for you. And again, if you missed the demo, I think it was probably about half an hour, 40 minutes in, we saw that quilling demo. And it is literally just a case of running the quilling die through your die cutting machine. We saw actually that even goes into your Gemini Mini. So even if you've only got the Mini, you can use that. Runs through there, and it is literally just a case of taking your quilling tool and twisting, because you've got all the petals have been cut in such a way that they will interlock for you. So again, you don't even have to worry about kind of balancing them out. It makes it so simple for you to do. And if that wasn't all, we are also going to be throwing in the low tack tape. So a 3-pack set of that low tack tape. Brand new to us today, $80 or £80 or $106, £69. $85 is the price that you'll pay today. And if you're in the club, $55.20 if you're platinum, or $68 if you're in the States. And don't forget, for those of you that saw this on HSN as well, those 3 individual elements of Vanessa, Sending Love, and the Butterfly Friendship, those are the 3 components that you won't have seen within your collection. So if you want to get those as a sort of a mini bundle, if you like, to complete the collection, which I know lots of people have done, that will give you a $30 or £30 spend, and you'll get an extra 10% off that as well. So you'll get all of those really for under $30 or under £30, which is just brilliant. You can see them, all the details here flashing up individually. I cannot believe we're at the point where we've literally got about 12 minutes remaining. We've got the winners, by the way, of our little competition, which I'll announce in just a little bit. But it's time to go back over to the lady behind it all, the lovely Sharon Callis, who's been with us on the Crafthouse right throughout. And I know it's been great, hasn't it, to see all of Craig's demos and see his take on it. But we're going to see some of your finished samples as well. But it must just be great for you to kind of see Craig work, because the way that he's using this will be different to the way that you use it and to how somebody else uses it, won't it?
It's great to see how other people will use and create with the collections. I'm a traditional die cutter, and Craig is fantastic with the mixed media and the tri-blends and the colour washes, etc.
Yeah.
So whereas I prefer to add distressed looks and use the inks with the pads, to see it used that way by Craig is amazing.
Just take us through some of the finished samples that you've got in front of you there, again, because it's great to see that Craig's made, some very, very different makes here in the studio. But again, you've got a very different take on it in front of you there, Sharon, haven't you?
Yeah, mine are very floral and very traditional looking. Now, in all these samples here, I've used the Garden of Love pad that's on the show today. I absolutely adore that pad. But to show you some ways for traditional card makers, I've done different shapes.
Yeah.
So I'll bring this one up first. So I just love this.
That's glorious.
That opens out. And the butterfly, the Mariposa, has been used as a topper with foam pads. And it's very simple. That's just 2 A4 sheets of paper, folded in half, and then folded back on themselves, joined together. And that's how you make that card base.
Do you know what you say, that how simple that is to put together? Sorry, you say how simple it is to put together. That card looks like anything but simple, but that's what this set allows you to do, isn't it? To create amazing professional looking cards.
It does. That's the finished elements and the toppers to it. And and that's another reason why I wanted the mat for my butterflies. Yeah. So it'll allow you to do that. So it would look fantastic even on one of the nesting dies, but I like to follow the shape of the filigree, and that's what's unusual about that. And then with one of the stamped elements there, just die cut, use it as an accent there. And in the center of the flowers here, I put the gems as well. Yes. So you can put drops, you can put gems in them, you can thread stamens through them. There's so much that you can do them. The flower die itself is just your basic tool. So you can take that to the next level, ink up your colors. I mean, that paper there was just white cardstock, and that was the Pink Tulip Harmony water reactive ink pad. And that was cardstock there for the petals. And I just added a bit of green to that as well. So the dies themselves are the tools, but you yourself can take them where you want them to go. So this here is Vanessa, and I've used some gold mirror card behind that. I've actually put some inked where the embossed detail is. Yeah. Not much, just give it a dab here and there, just to bring it out. Added the butterfly with a foam pad in it, lifted up the petals, and again I've used one of the small stamped cutout things just to give it dimension. I'm just going to turn it so you can see how much dimensions in that.
Yeah, that really does show right there. That's fantastic.
So it just gives it that wow factor. And adding the sentiment. Now they're quite large as well, these sentiments. So they could be the focal point. So if you wanted to eliminate the butterfly, you could put the sentiment in the center. So you don't have to use it all together. But it's that's how it comes together, and that's gives a stunning card.
My eye's been particularly drawn to the one at the bottom of your screen there. The one at the bottom, I think, is my favourite. Can you take us through that one? It looks amazing.
So this card here, so I'll just turn it this way, just so you can see. It's the stepper card. So there's a lot of dimension in this. But that background is the stamping card, and I use the water reactive inks with a little bit of glycerin to help them blend in a little bit more. And then I simply just cut it up. I love to create these backgrounds. I do them on A5 sheets, leave them in a box, because you never know when you're creating, you need a background, and then you can take it out and trim it up. And with the textured cardstock as well. But I don't know whether the camera will pick up. I've used the swirly stamp in gold Midas on it to create a background.
Yeah, we can see that.
See it.
Gorgeous.
Pick it up. And so that's stamped on the textured cardstock twice, lighter and darker. But then I've trimmed out some detail and just overlaid it. You could actually go again with a third layer and just pick up that center bit there and leave off the tip of the wing. So you can keep going and going and going and going in different colors and different mediums like acetate and vellum, etc., to build that up. So I've added my flowers as well in there. And this one here was just simply white stamping card got the Midas ink pad and gave it a little dab along the top.
Just stunning.
So there wasn't much that.
Yeah, beautiful. And I know you've got one final one we can quickly have a look there as well. I do want to quickly come back to the quilling die boards as well, if we can, just before we go, just to show people how easy those are to use. But again, that's so lovely. Talk us through that one, Sharon.
So this is our Mariposa again. Now the background here is very simple. This is the texture cardstock, but what I did was when I cut it out, I took my texture tool and I just went and rubbed it down the edge of the cardstock just to give it a vintage look, a shabby chic look.
Yeah.
And then I just layered them sort of green pink, and then this gorgeous piece of paper here from the Garden of Love collection, because it has some gold foiling in it as well. You might see that reflecting. So it just gives it a little bit of fanciness, for want of a better word.
Great word. Love it.
The Mariposa here I cut out.
Yeah.
So cut it out in the light pink, but just see there, just give it a little rub of ink. So you don't need pattern paper. And then added the little gems to the center. But for the butterfly, I actually used, and I'll just lift the wing up here, the waist. So that was the waist from the center. I've used that as a second mat on a foam pad. Then I overlaid it with the butterfly. So when I die cut this butterfly, I left it in the die, and then I put it through the Gemini again with the embossing mat.
Yeah.
And before I took it out of the die altogether, I flipped it over, and the parts that were revealed, I just dabbed them with the ink pad. And when you take the die cut out, that's what you're left with.
Do you know what? There's so many comments coming through, Sharon. We haven't got time today to go through them all, but you must know that there is so much love for this collection today. The majority, well, everyone's saying how much they love them. The majority of people commenting on the kind of amount of butterfly layers that you can get from this collection, but also lots of love for the quilling dies. If we can have a look at that board again, that would be great, because I don't think people realise just how easy it is to get those beautiful flowers with your system, because like Craig was showing earlier on, that the traditional way of doing it, I guess, can be quite fiddly and quite difficult, can't it?
It is, and that's what I found with it. I found it very messy. If you use wet glue, when you put layers together, you ended up with glue in your hands and on your projects, etc., So that's why I came up with this system, to eliminate the need for cutting 2 layers.
Yeah.
So you just have to cut once, and already on this die cut, 2 things have happened. Your layers are joined together, but your petals are offset. So when you fold that along the perforated line, the bottom layer goes over the top layer, perfectly aligned, all gaps are filled, and it's ready straight away for you to quilt. So there's no need to glue 2 layers together. Pop it on your quilling tool, give it a quick twist at the top, and then a little bit of glue along the strip, and then quilt to the end. But a quick tip on this is as well,